How is everybody doing? I wanted to read a quick verse for you. Okay, Proverbs 4, starting in verse 23, says, "Guard your heart above all else, for it determines the course of your life." Verse 24 says, "Avoid perverse talk. Stay away from corrupt speech. Look straight ahead and fix your eyes on what lies before you. Mark out a straight path for your feet. Stay on the same path. Don't get sidetracked. Keep your feet from following evil." Okay, now if that verse does not get you excited and determined to stay focused on what you've been called to do, I don't know what does. Okay, so I want to read this little part in my Bible that is right here. Talking about verse 24. Verse 24 was the part that says, "Avoid all perverse talk, stay away from corrupt speech." Now, this in my Bible says, "Because a person's words originate in the heart." Proverbs teaches extensively about speech. One of the most basic lessons is to avoid perverse or corrupt speech, later defined as lies, slander, gossip, and rumor. Okay, so my encouragement for you tonight is, in order to stay focused and on the straight and narrow path that you're supposed to be on in the call that God has for you in your life, we have to avoid these conversations that just are not fruitful at all. It's pretty simple. It's pretty basic. If you hear a conversation that involves lies, slander, gossip, and rumor, politely, respectfully, just bow out of the conversation. You can just be like, "Oh, I don't really know too much about that. I'm going to go over here." I'm just going to go over here and not engage in this conversation. It's okay. This is your permission to bow out of those conversations. Politely, respectfully, you can just avoid the conversation. That is guarding your heart. Before you know it, you might not even be a part of the conversation. You might not even be inputting in the conversation, but you sitting with certain individuals when they're talking about things that are not fruitful, that are not true, those things are getting into your spirit, are getting into your heart, and affecting you more than you know. Before you know it, you're walking away from that conversation, and which you didn't even really have. Maybe you weren't even a part of the conversation. Maybe you didn't even say anything. And you walk away from that group or that individual, and you don't feel so good. You feel worry. You feel doubt. You feel fear. You feel just discouraged. That's not right. And that is not going to keep you focused on what God has for you to do. So, there's a lot of things that God is calling us to do in this season, in this time, as believers, as followers of Jesus Christ. We need to stay focused on what God has called us to do. And getting involved in messy conversations is not a part of God's plan for our life. So, this is permission for you tonight. It is okay to bow out of the conversation respectfully, politely. Just avoid it. Just walk away. That is a part of guarding your heart. So, happy Monday. It's the end of the day, Monday. I hope this was an encouragement to you. Maybe it was something you needed to hear. Maybe it was something you already knew. Maybe it was something you were just, that was just confirmation. Okay, girl, I knew that. I just needed to hear it again. I hope it was a blessing to you. It was an encouragement to me. I needed it. I hope you have a wonderful night.